Welcome back everyone to the part 2 of this tutorial, where we are learning how to integrate animation and dialogue using the point and click toolkit. And to begin with, we would like to enter our scene manager, so let's get in there. And in here we are going to make a reference to our shopkeeper, which is my Kim character here. So drag out from event begin play here in the event graph. So drag out and write cast to shopkeeper NPC class, and write shopkeeper here as well, actor of class, and then promote to a variable. And I will name this one Kim ref, like so, and compile. And then back to the house dialog graph. And here we would like to add a switch on int. So drag out from the index and write switch on int, like so. And then a bunch of pins here, like so. We would now like to start implementing some animations to our dialogue. Use this switch on int, where we have these numbers, and each number represents an index, and how this works is as follows. When index 0 is finished, we want something to happen, and when index 1 is finished, we want something else to happen, etc. So this is how we will work with this system. And the first thing we want to do is to add a macro, and the reason for that is we want to have a macro for both of our characters and also for our animation blueprints. So in that way we don't have to write the same thing multiple times. So that's a good thing to use macros for. So we will add here on the plus one macro, and we will call this target ABP. And the ABP stands for animation blueprint, and the target is our characters. So in here we want to make a cast to ABP mannequin, and we will drag out this to the input. And here we want to also have we will do it like this. We will add KimRef here, and we will search for anim instance, get anim instance mesh, like this. And then we want to remove this KimRef here, because we are not going to use Kim. We are going to do it like this. We will drag the target into the input, and this one return value into the object. And here on the outputs we would drag out here, and from the animation blueprint also, like so. And if we get back here, and we can drag out this target ABP macro, you see here the target, and that will either be KimRef, if it is Kim's character who will execute an animation, or it can also be the PNC character, which is our player. So this is how we will work with this macro. And the first one, if I remember correctly, is our player. So we will connect this one into number 0 here. And then we would like to drag out from the ABP mannequin. And the first animation was called, we would like to use the clapping first, I think. So we will search for that. Set is clapping. We will put this one in here and set it here. And now we want to get the anim clapping, get anim clap, and here get play length. And this one we want to connect into a timer. So we will be using timer here to make the blueprints know how long the animation will be and when it is supposed to stop. So we will drag out and search for timer by function name. You can use another one as well called set timer by event. It will also work. It depends on what you prefer, but in this tutorial I will use the set timer by function name. So we will connect this one, and in here we will write, let's call this one abort clapping, and we will make a custom event with the same name. You can copy paste this. So when the play length is when the animation has played, it will execute this function here called abort clapping, and it will go here. And here we would like to clear the timer as well. And the next thing we would like to do before we make our next macro is to promote this timer to a variable. So right click to return value, and we will name this reference timer. Like so. And then we will go to the plus here and make another macro, and this one we will call abort anim macro. So in here we would like to drag out the timer and get it and search for is valid timer handle, and drag out the return value and search for a branch and connect it here in the input, and drag out another timer and search for clear and invalidate timer. And here we would also like to have this target ABP inside here, so drag that out here. And the target we would like to drag to the input like so, and this true will be connected to the clear and invalidate by handle, and the false will go past here and connected to the target ABP, and connect this to the output and the ABP mannequin also in here. Compile and get back to the scene here, and next up we would like to drag out this abort anim macro, and we would like to connect it, and we saw here it was the PNC character which we would like to affect here on this index, so copy paste it and connect it to this target here. So basically what will happen here is when this timer is finished, it will activate this event here. So you would like to make this clapping bool here set to false. So copy paste it and connect this one into the ABP mannequin and set it to false. So now we will test out this first animation and see what happens. So we will get back here and press play. We'll talk to him. You're late. And our character starts clapping. Perfect. It seems to work. So get back to our scene manager. So before we move on, there is one thing I thought about related to skipping dialogue. Because let's say we skip this first one. Right now there is nothing that will stop this animation from playing. So if we just skip through all of these down here, this animation will still be playing. And then that can look quite weird if the animation is not related to that specific dialogue. But that's quite easy to fix because as you remember, we have a custom event here that is stopping the animation, and normally this one is played when the timer is finished. But we can activate this one as well, so we will just drag out here from the first and search for abort clapping. And now the animation will stop when a dialogue is skipped. And we can organize this a little better before we move on and move them up here like so. And we will also add a little comment here, I think would be good. So we will press C and write clapping animation. And I will give this a color as well. We will give it this color. So let's continue on with the next one. Go to the data table to see where we are in the dialogue. So this is the one with the clapping which we just added. And the next one is the pre-made animation. So we will not make any changes to that. And we go down to index 3 and here we see, well, Mr. Big Shot, I hope this promotion doesn't go to your head. And here we would like to add our own animation, which is the dust off animation. And it's Kim talking, we will remember that and go back here. And we will have another target ABP here, drag out from the second. And remember it was Kim. And we will set dust off like so. And we will also have a anim dust and a play length. And we will have these copy paste and put them here, connect it, and here we will make another custom event and we will name it abort dust. Copy paste this and add the custom event and copy paste, and here we will add an abort anim macro. Connect it, and remember it was Kim, so we will put KimRef here again and then turn off it with set is dust off like so. And we will do the same here as we did here, abort clapping, and here we will abort dust like so. I will put this in a comment as well and call this one, we call it dust off animation. And this one I will give this color. We'll continue on with the next one and let's see. Next one is index 4, and here we have the pre-made animation, which we will not use. So go further down to index 5, and here we have Kim again. And yet you still managed to forget the groceries, huh? Yes, this is the one we would like to add our own animation to. And it is Kim talking, we remember that, and it's the index 5. So here, and index 4 is finished, we would like to add another target, and it is Kim. We will connect it here to the fourth, and it's the animation we want to use is the let's see, on hips, exactly. And we will drag out for anim hips and copy paste this one like so and connect it. And here we will name it abort hips and a custom event again, abort hips. And we will copy paste this and put it here, and here we will have hips. Set is on hips to false. And another skip here, abort hips. And put another comment here. Let's call it on hips animation. Like so. And compile. And now we have one left, so let's see. Yes, it's the next one, index 6. And here it's Alex talking again. So we remember Alex and index 6. So this is supposed to be here in the 5. So when 5 is finished, the animation should play. So we will add another target ABP here. And it is our player character, get PNC character, and we will search for sorry. This is the animation we're going to use. And we will sorry anim, get anim sorry. Copy paste again. Connect it. And this one we will name abort sorry. Custom event abort sorry, and have an abort here as well, and the PNC character sorry. And we will, on the last one, we are going to put this abort sorry. So let's see here. We will first make another comment. We'll call it I'm sorry animation. Make it this color. So let's test this out and see if it works as we intended. Skipping. It's skipping. Yes, and it's working. Perfect. So now we have our dialogue and animation integrated together, and you can make this a lot more advanced if you like, but this is a thing to start with for you. And now I'm thinking about adding some camera works. If that is something you're interested in, you can stay put and I will show you now how you can integrate the cinematic camera, which I showed in my previous tutorial. So I would also recommend checking that out as well. So here I will create a new folder first, and I will call this one cinematic cameras. And in here I will right click and search for sequence. I will like this one called level sequence, and I will name this Cine Camera 1 and duplicate this one and press enter, and we have two sequences here. We will start with that. I will enter the first one, double click, and you will see here this sequence window, and I will create a new camera, this symbol here, left click, and now we get the full control of the cinematic camera. So the first camera, I would like to have a view of Alex when he's clapping his hands. So I will do a little zoom in on him. And to achieve that, I will just scroll down here and go to transform. And I will check this slider is all to the left, and then decide where I want to start with my camera. And let's say I want to start from up here. So I will press the key here and then drag the slider all to the right and move a little further here like this and press the transform again. So now we have a little, and now we can see it's sliding a bit to the right but I don't think that's an issue. We can test it like this to see what happens, if it looks nice. So, and before I exit this one, I will also lock it, because otherwise there is a risk that we will change stuff with the camera when we are doing other stuff, and we want to avoid that. So lock it and click the symbol here. We'll get back here, and we will also do the Cine Camera 2. Double click it, create a new camera, and this one I want to have a view of Kim, I think. Let's do it from this angle here and see what happens. Let's do it like this. I press the first transform here, and I'll scroll it all the way here, and I will do a little zoom in here, like so, and press the transform again. We see here. We have another little nice camera view here from the side. And I will lock this one as well. And then we will enter the scene manager again. So go there. And in here we would like to decide where we want our cinematic camera to play. So I'm thinking about making it here where the clapping animation is playing. We also would like this cinematic camera to play. So I will right click and search for sequence to make two ways for these nodes. So I will put this one in the first, in the one, and this one in the other one. And here I will drag out and search for create sequence. Create, let's see. Create level sequence player, exactly, that's the one. And in here you can see the cameras that we just created, the sequence. We have the cinematic camera 1 and 2, and we will go over the first one. And in here, play sequence, I think will work. Just play will work, like so. Let's go here and search for is valid. This one with the sign here. And we will make, I think it's good to make a variable here, so we do that. Promote to a variable and connect it. And we will call this one Cine Camera 1. And I will drag this one in here in the input. And here we should change a little, because we only want to create the sequence player once, so we don't want to create it every time this camera is playing. So to avoid that, we will drag this one from is not valid to the create. So if it has not been created yet, it will go here and create it and promote it to a variable to this. And if it has already played once, we want it to just skip these two parts and go directly to the play here. And we want to make the same method here as we did with the abort clapping. When we wanted to skip the animation, we can also skip this camera view, so it goes back to the normal one. So to do that, we can drag out the cinematic camera and search for stop. Like so. So let's test this out and see if we get a camera in the game and see what happens. Play and it seems to be working. Nice. And let's also test the skipping of the camera to see that that is working as well. Yes, it seems to be working. Perfect. And then we can go back here and see if we want to make the other one as well. So I will drag this down a little bit and drag out another sequence. Connect this one to the bottom, and we can copy paste these two, this one, and put it here, and we will change this to the camera 2, promote it to a variable, and name it Cine Camera 2, and drag this in the isValid, like so. And let's drag this down a little bit. And here we want to do the same thing, and we will get camera 2 and stop, like so. Maybe you would like this camera to continue on when we get to another dialogue, so then you should not stop it, but in this example we would like to stop the camera each time it changed the dialogue. So let's save and test this again. So we go here and talk, and we see the first camera working fine. Let's see if the second one is working. Yes, it seems to be working fine. Perfect. So that's about it for this tutorial. So let's summarize what we have done here today. At first we did some preparation in our scene, and then we went into the scene manager and did the preparation in there. And we also worked with some data tables, and then we went into the animation blueprint and prepared with our state and the transitions, and then we started implementing our animation and combined them with our dialogue. So if you like this video, please subscribe and add a comment below, and please write what you would like to see next in my upcoming tutorials, and we see each other again soon, I hope. Bye bye.